DH Dateline. Today we'll be discussing about Kerala politics. For today's discussion, I have got two guests and my colleague Arjun Raghunath. Ramesh Babu is a senior journalist who's been covering Kerala for more than 2 decades. He was earlier with the Hindustan Times as well. Joseph C. Matthew is a renowned political observer and has been an advisor to former Kerala Chief Minister V.S. Achyutanandan. Arjun, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Viju. Let me start with Ramesh Babu. So how do you feel about this election? What is your estimations about the trends and all?
Yeah, what I see is, for the first time, state is witnessing a tripolar contest. Earlier, it was bipolar. Now it is, in more than, 30 to 40 constituencies, it's three-cornered contest. It's the first time, like earlier, we used to have it three-cornered contest in a couple of constituencies. But this time we are witnessing, three-cornered contest in more than 30 constituencies. And I feel, yeah.
Yeah, please continue, sir.
Yeah, and I feel, there is a polarization of minority community, especially the Muslims. That will definitely help the UDF. And a split in majority vote by BJP. That will also help UDF. In a way, UDF has got upper hand.
Joseph, do you think that there's BJP say forced to be considered 30 seats? What is your estimation about that? As well as the general estimation.
Yeah, I agree with him to some extent that there is a BJP is in the fray in around 30 constituencies. Fray in the sense not a winning proposition, but at the same time it is a unit which can decide which way the votes might go, the winning vote might go. So that can be decided by the BJP in at least 30 constituencies. What they have classified as their A-class seats. But I think when it comes to winning prospects, I think BJP at the most can expect 4 seats. And that itself is an overestimation. So 0 to 4 is what I think in terms of
Joseph, if I could just come in, what are those 4 seats you actually see? Could you?
I look at Nemam, Karakutam, Manjeshwaram, and Palakkad in that order, in fact.
Okay.
So those are the seats that I see. There are other seats where they can gather up to 30,000 or around 30,000 votes, which can decide the winner in that constituency. And over the last 2 elections, they were actually deciding, and the fact that it has gone to the LDF those 2 times, 2016 and 2021. You look at it, they have gathered the majority votes, but mainly the majority votes which are going to the UDF in most of those constituencies. I'm not saying their further growth will be at the expense of UDF, but whatever the initial growth that they had done, it was at the expense of UDF, and in most of these constituencies, it was the LDF who benefited out of this. So this election, I don't think they can penetrate further into the UDF votes this time, mainly because of the we say incumbency factor, but it is actually resentment against the present government. So I think that is the main factor in this election. So I don't see the BJP eating into the UDF votes much like they were doing earlier. I also agree that it is advantage UDF this time, and UDF looks to be the favorite too.
Okay, I'm just adding on to what Joseph has just mentioned. It seems advantage UDF. Also, Ramesh also mentioned that, but I'm going to ask the 3 of you this one. After the civic body polls late last year, there was actually a wave in which thought the UDF, the Congress-led UDF, would actually have it easy. But this time, while the campaign started and it's gone, that feeling has gone away. Is that a true reading? And given the state as of now, what makes you think that the UDF has an advantage over the LDF? Let's not take the NDA at the fray now, because the main two parties are still, main two blocks are still the LDF and the UDF. Joseph, first to you, then Ramesh and Arjun.
Okay, even before the local body elections, the day before the counting, if you had asked me, I would have never said that this result is going to come. I don't think anyone expected that. But I think the resentment against the present government was there, and after that, everyone could gauge it better than before the counting. The same way, the resentment, I don't see any factors going in LDF's favor after that, other than the MLAs and their asset fund which they have spent in their constituencies. Everywhere the MLA name is written. So LDF expects these MLAs to come up and win their own respective constituencies. That's why they have fielded almost every candidate that they had, throwing away all their earlier benchmarks and other constraints. So, but then the PR, everything, the government also worked thinking that this is not going to be easy, and they understood that they have their backs to the wall. So they came out all guns blazing, and all the advertisement, every strength that they have organizationally was put into the fray. I think this election is mainly against, it's the resentment against the present government versus the organizational strength of the CPIM. So this is the contest on the ground, I think, because even with Congress, I don't see an organization at all there with Congress. It is all in disarray. 10 years in the opposition, the top leaders not being there. So this is a new line of leaders coming up. They have to emerge with power, and that is how leaders emerge in Congress, we know. So this is a power shift happening, a generation change happening in the Congress. But I think the general public, what they did for local body elections also, they were looking at candidates who were able to defeat the ruling formation. Even in Trivandrum, they found that BJP has a better chance. They voted for the BJP. So people were looking at candidates and they were giving it to the UDF in a platter. I don't think they have gained it that way. So that condition exists even now. And I think the same way that UDF is going to benefit this time also.
Ramesh, could you share your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, local body elections, took place, 3-4 months back. And there was no major turn of events, after that. If we going by the mood of the electorate, I think more or less the same feeling. I mean, same trend will continue. The present government, facing a big anti-incumbency way, and though I mean it fielded most of its sitting MLAs, like things are not that rosy for the LDF.
All right, Arjun, over to you.
Can I add? Yeah, actually, after the local body election, we had a feeling like that this anti-incumbency was reflecting too much. But after 2-3 months, there was a lot of PR exercise and all. So now, in the last couple of weeks, I had traveled almost across the state. So when we talk to the people, we can get a anti-incumbency, but not very strong. That is the feeling I got. Actually, so initially after the local body election, only our opposition leader was claiming that we will come back to power with 100 seats. But the pulse that we get from the ground is that anti-incumbency is there. But the main concern among the people is whether the Congress is strong or united enough to grab the opportunity. So what do you think, Ramesh sir, about that? Is the Congress strong or united enough to grab the opportunity?
Yeah, well, Arjun, I mean, for me, I mean, for the first time, Congress looks, Congress, I mean, despite Sudhakaran's outburst at the initial stages, Congress now more or less, work as a well-oiled machine. But again, there will be some, like who will lead the UDF after the election. For that matter, all the senior leaders, they buried their hatch. So I don't think, there is a big infighting as such, during the time of, Karunakaran, Antony and all, that type of, infighting, that scrambling is not there this time.
Yeah. And another thing I would like to ask is like about this after the 2024 local Lok Sabha election, the first reaction of CPM, especially CPM State Secretary, was that BJP, I mean like BDJS and SNDP are becoming recruitment agency of the BJP because there was a drift in the Irava vote, OBC, Irava vote towards the BJP. So what do you feel is the present trend? Will there be further flow of Irava or towards the BJP, or the CPM will be able to resist it? How will be the pattern of the OBC, especially Irava?
No, Arjun, yeah, Arjun, I feel, like the social engineering, that period is more or less over now. Like even you look like, like you asked, a first time voter, he will see the candidate and he will see the trend. And, like two days back, I asked my niece, like she's a first time voter. She said, she will go by the candidate, not by ideology. See, this is, like,
Yeah, Joseph, do you see a drift of Irava or OBC or towards the BJP, or will there be a split? What is your estimation about that?
No, I don't think so, Arjun. I think they were trying to grab the Edava votes through BDJS, the Tushar Vallapalli's formation. And 2016 was the peak. You see in 2021, their votes were almost halved. And I think in 2026, they'll almost vanish. So I think they are on their way out and vanishing from the political scenario altogether, like the other communal outfits of NSS and SNDP earlier. They'll also vanish by this election, is what I think. And if you look at the votes gathered by BDJS in 2016 and 2021, they retained. We can see that they were mainly Ezhavas who were voting for UDF and not for the LDF in most of the constituencies. There are certain exceptions, but in most of the constituencies, those votes are drifting back to the UDF. So 2016 and 2021, you take it, you can check all these constituencies, Rani, Changanasheri, you can check all these constituencies. These votes have gone back to the UDF. They have not succeeded in winning, but they have gained their votes. Arur, for example, they have gained the votes. So I think those votes are shifting back to the UDF, which will be advantageous to the UDF. And BJP votes, the increase in the NDA kitty is through BJP votes. And BJP votes, majority votes, they have whatever they could gather from the UDF, they have gathered. And you look at places where BJP is gaining, and as Mr. Ramesh was pointing out initially, it is going to be eaten up from the CPM, I'm afraid, this time. And the going is going to be slow for BJP. They are not going to get a quantum jump as they expected or as they are claiming to. I don't think that is going to happen. And also, Arjun, responding to your statement earlier, that's what I said. Even before the local body elections, if we go and when we go around speaking to the people, we never understood, or at least I could not gather that there was such an anti-incumbency on the ground. Same way, I don't see people speaking out through many reasons. And one additional thing, maybe the only major thing which happened after the local body elections was some of the main CPM leaders coming out and contesting against their friend, which is unprecedented in the state, like G. Sudhakaran, the district committee members in Kannur. So that is the only one factor, I think, after the local body elections, which also is not in favor of the LDF.
So will that reflect in the polls, the CPM in fights? What is your estimation there?
Exactly. That's what I wanted to ask you as a follow-up question. Do you think the rebel problem that the LDF is facing, is that going to be a deciding factor anywhere in the state?
Uh, I think winning those seats may be tough because, say, for example, Payyanur, the lead earlier was 49,000 seats, 49,000 votes. It might come down drastically, but winnability, I'm not too sure. But irrespective of that, the image that the LDF had and the picture that they painted across the state and their organizational stability versus the instability of the Congress and all this picturization that they have been doing, projecting a major leader and saying we'll stand by a word, whatever happens, all that is shattered. See, the organizational weakness of the CPM has come out. Their leaders are coming out and speaking openly. It's not just among these leaders who are contesting in these elections. See, from my district is Patanandita. There, one district committee member is sitting at home. He is asked not to come out and speak, Padma Umar, for the Shabarimala, because of the Shabarimala issue. Another former district committee secretary comes with his wife, and the wife speaks against the party in the about the cooperative bank scam and other things, and Unni Krishna Villa accompanies her in his car. And another district secretariat member was removed from the election fray because the candidate Veena George asked him to be removed. So we are talking about the top leadership in the district. So across the state, there is some such organizational issues faced by the CPIM, which is unprecedented, which I cannot recollect. So talking about the instability of the Congress at this moment, CPM is not in a position to point fingers at them at all.
Okay. Since you are from you may be able to tell more about the Shabarimala effect.
Yeah, Shabarimala, I don't think it's restricted to one district alone. And Shabarimala, I don't think is restricted to one community also, Hindu community alone either. I think it is a case where the state government took the administration upon itself. The party said, we have to manage this because the BJP and the other communal forces are saying that whatever is being offered in the temple is being taken away by the administration and others. So we'll have our full-time party cadre, state-level leaders at the top, and we'll manage the administration and show to the world that everything is being done in a proper way. And now we have seen what has happened there. So irrespective of who the culprit is, the party has miserably failed, and they don't have an answer before the general public. So whatever is said and done, look at the Supreme Court, or the Supreme Court standing by the government now in the earlier case. They have taken another stand. See, earlier the Chief Minister was saying, irrespective of the number of votes or the poll debacles and other things, we'll stand by what we believe, and we'll fight for that till the end. So this is there on display, and all the bold words and the stature they were trying to show, and the fighting spirit that they were trying to highlight, which they blamed that the Congress and UDF did not have. It is exposed before the public. That's what I feel.
Arjun, a question to you on the BJP. Now, the BJP this time is led by Rajeev Chandrasekhar, and if you look at it, the previous BJP presidents, they've not really been able to take the whole state unit as one. There have been bickerings and infightings that have come out in the open. This time, how do you see it? How is the BJP working as a unit under Rajeev Chandrasekhar, and what has he made a difference to the party in the state?
Yeah, after Rajeev Chandrasekhar took over, I mean, like he could control the groupisms and infight to a certain extent. It's not coming out anyway. Otherwise, I mean, like during candidate selection, it was quite smooth in the BJP this time. And when you ask about the chances of Rajeev Chandrasekhar winning from Neyamam, I would say it's no. I mean, like now this FCRA issue has also come up, so there will be a strong consolidation of minority votes against it, because some organizations like the SDPI have openly stated that they will work against the BJP. So there will be that's a message they are giving, that there should be a strong consolidation of minority votes against the BJP. Otherwise, like after
does a strong consolidation of the minority votes reflect in a reverse consolidation of majority votes in favor of the BJP?
That is what some BJP people are saying. This is the timing of the FCRA amendment. So the BJP's calculation is of consolidation of the majority votes. There are some analysis like that also that we have to wait and see. And I would also like to ask Ramesh sir and Joseph about the impact of FCRA issue. How whether the BJP will be able to make any inroads into the Christian vote banks.
Yeah, it's, I mean, like, this issue came, all of a sudden. Like, it was, like, BJP was trying its best, desperate to make inroads in Christian heartland. So, I mean, they were trying their best, but this FCA issue has, I mean, dented some prospects. I mean, not wholly, like, their leaders are trying their best to explain and all, but apprehensions are there in the like, especially in the clergy and all. They came out on the roads and, like, they made an open call and all. So it will affect, I mean, in some pockets.
Joseph, what do you think about the FCRA impact, especially on the Christian vote banks belts?
I think FCRA more than the codified law, what is on paper, it is at the implementation level with each individual. The BJP central leadership knows that is the way to tame the church leadership, because in all the other previous meetings that the church leadership had, whatever is being spoken before the press, inside they were discussing about FCRA and other funds which were coming their way. So the BJP leadership knows that irrespective of all this, once this law is passed, they have a way to tame this. Like ED, this is going to be a strong tool in taming the minorities. I think it is because the central leadership has analyzed and assessed correctly that the BJP state leadership and all their talk about development and other things is not going to woo the minorities and the Christian community their way. So they are going to come up with their own tools, and FCRA is going to be such a good tool. Individually, after this is passed, individually these people are going to beg and somehow try to get their FCRA accounts intact, and that is going on. So that tool will be a powerful tool in the hands of the central leadership, and that is what they are looking at. But coming to this elections, surely I don't think Rajeev Chandrasekhar or his tactics of playing down the Hindutva card in the state has gone well with the minorities at all. The Gopalakrishnan statement about having a Hindu MLA and other things, I think it was against their own leadership, because Kummanam Rajashekharan was forced to be given a seat there. MT Ramesh did not get a seat. The old pack of leaders and who were talking about Hindutva in Kerala were not accommodated this time, and another theory was being pushed. But now, towards the end, even Rajeev Chandrasekhar starts speaking about Muslim League having a deputy chief ministership, having 6 leaders, and all other things. I think they are realizing that this is their forte, and even in Nemam, that is what is going to get him votes. So I think their real color is coming out, and they are sticking to their old foot right now.
A question to Ramesh, and then I'll actually also ask the other one to you as well, Joseph. Ramesh, the question is that for 2 terms, the Congress-led UDF has been out of power. It's been in the opposition. What would happen to the party? What would happen to the front if it were to not win this election?
Or that will be, I mean, like, if the Congress again loses power, there will be political realignment in the state, no doubt about it. Because, like, Muslim League, I mean, like, CPM has been trying its best to woo the Muslim League. So, I mean, if the situation continues like this, I mean, Congress is forced to sit in the opposition. Things will, I mean, change dramatically in the state. And the first to leave the UDF camp will be the Muslim League.
Okay. And Joseph, if I could ask you the reverse side of it, if the LDF were to win this time and come to power again, a third government in a row, what would happen to the left? What would happen to the LDF and the CPIM? Would it get very strong that it would be untouchable in that? And of course, it's led by a very strong leader. What do you think would happen? What do you think would happen if they were to win it once more?
Yeah, if the LDF manages to grab power again, what will happen to the political left is the first question we should be worried about. It will be totally dead if at all it is alive right now. And the so-called formation of LDF, it is a party and a formation which follows just one dictator, one leader, which is going to be dangerous to the state. And if you can answer, Club, the question which you asked Mr. Ramesh also, for the people of Kerala, it is very important what will happen to Congress, what will happen to BJP, and what will happen to the political left. The political left I have answered. What will happen to the Congress? It's not about UDF or Muslim League leaving it. Congress will not exist in this state. It will not be there after one more month, I think. They cannot imagine of staying outside power for another 5 years. Most of the leaders will desert Congress, and BJP will be the major opposition in the state. And that is what I'm afraid of. BJP strategically thinking even without any deal. It is better for the BJP to make sure that the LDF comes back to power. Thereby, they'll grow themselves and they'll put themselves in a much better seat. So this is dangerous for the secular votes of Kerala, I think. And that is what the people of Kerala should be worried about. So much is at stake.
I would add over here that it's not just Kerala. If Congress were to not win this time, Congress at the national level also would get weak because of this because it sends a lot of MPs from Kerala. Its political relevance in the state is important, and as you said, it would be doubtful whether it can stay in the opposition for one more term. Arjun, your question.
Yeah, one thing I would ask, can we anticipate or do we anticipate a hung assembly in Kerala this time?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Joseph, do you have any?
Whoever comes to power will have majority. Yeah.
I also don't think so. And I think it is advantage UDF this time, and they might get absolute majority. That's what I think. But I don't see a hung assembly at all. And BJP at the most might get 1 or 2 seats.
Well, what I feel is that there's an advantage for the UDF, but it won't be like, I doubt whether it will be like 100 seats as our opposition leader is expecting. Like we will come back to power with 100 seats. I think it will be around 80 seats. That's my estimation from what I understand.
Okay, just to wrap it up for our viewers, I'm actually telling you, there's a lot of coverage that Deccan Herald does in Kerala. We've got Arjun Raghunath and Cora Abraham who are covering the state. You can read both their articles on our website and the videos in our YouTube section. Joseph Matthew and Ramesh Babu, thank you very much for your time. Arjun also. That's a wrap from us, from our side as of now. For more videos, stay tuned to DeccanHerald.com.